Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Rob.
And this is Ask Rob and Rob.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Ask Rob and Rob, where you ask us questions and we give you answers. As simple as that. And it's simple to get your questions on the show.
It's really simple. Loads of people are doing it, and we would love it if you did it as well. All you have to do is call 013 808 00035. That's 013 808 00035 and leave us a voicemail there. Or you can leave us a voicemail via your computer instead, if that's more convenient. Just go to thepropertyhub.net/podcast. Dead easy to do. We'd love it if you did. And Sam already has. Let's hear what Sam has to ask.
Hi, Rob and Rob. It's Sam Jones from the Brecon Beacons here, and I've got a question for you. I have a small buy-to-let portfolio, and I'm looking to keep it diversified in terms of the property types and the locations. I've recently been looking at offers on the purpose-built student pods. The developers are offering competitive prices, guaranteed rent for several years, and even quite decent returns on your deposit funds whilst they're still completing the build. I'd love to hear your opinions on the upsides and the downsides of these types of buy-to-lets. Thanks so much for all the content you put out. It's really renewed my enthusiasm and my confidence, and it's led me to expand my portfolio in the last couple of years quite a bit. So I'm really grateful. I'll look forward to hearing your thoughts. Thanks.
Okay, Rob, I can hear your breathing's changed. I'm going to hold you back for a minute, though. I'm going to hold you back because Sam did ask for the pros and the cons. So I'm going to attempt to start off by looking at the advantages of the student pod kind of investment. The main advantage, I suppose, is that if it actually pans out as promised, then it's great because, yep, like you said, you get promised a level of return while the build happens until it's completed. You then get a guaranteed rent. You don't have to do anything. Everything's taken care of. Fantastic. Then once it's up and running, it's completely hands off. So you don't have to do anything whatsoever. It's all taken care of. So on paper, it completely makes sense as an investment because you get a good return, it's a guaranteed return, and you don't have to actually do anything yourself. The key, of course, is to work out whether it will end up going as planned. And for that reason, really important to look into the track record of the developer to see what they've delivered in the past. You should be able to go back and look at previous projects that they've delivered to see what the quality is like, what the occupancy is like, what the levels of return are, and all that kind of thing. So it's all very well for people to promise things, but you can do your own research to see what the likelihood is of them delivering against those promises. However, even with the very best student pod developer, there are reasons why you might want to think twice about this type of investment. Over to you, Rob.
No, I've got nothing negative. No, I'm joking. If you actually Google student pods, I think there's an article that comes up in the Telegraph maybe, or one of the nationals where I commented. And I'm against student pods for a number of reasons. The main reason, though, is I believe investors are being taken advantage of. It's very much weighted in the favour of the people selling the product than the people owning the product. And the reason why is a lot of these promises, a lot of the things that are said, like you mentioned, Sam, guaranteed rents and all the rest of it and money paid back, is often overstated and in many cases just a complete lie. There's multiple cases of student pods, management companies with a guaranteed rents of great returns, starting off for a year and then disappearing after maybe year 2 or 3. And suddenly you go back to the market and look at what is actually achievable at normal market rates, and you realise it's a very, very different number. Which leads me to suggest that possibly the guaranteed rent was paid for by the money you gave over in the first place. A few other reasons though: mortgageability, it's almost non-existent, so you can't get mortgages on these products. And also your exit market. Who's going to buy it from you? It's only going to be an investor, because a student isn't going to buy it. A family isn't going to buy it. A first-time buyer isn't going to buy it. It's only going to be another investor. So if it's going to be another investor, what will they want? Well, normally most investors want to take advantage of leverage. They can't do that. However, you can give them a return. but it's only going to go up in value if the return goes up in value. And how long that will take? Well, it's debatable. So the capital growth prospects are minimal as well, therefore. So there's plenty of negatives. There's plenty of reasons not to do it. It would be very, very easy for RMP to sell student pods. The commissions and the money you get paid for selling them are fantastic, between 10 and 20%. So if you look at these 60, 80, 90 grand units, you do the maths, there's some money in it. But for me, there's things more important than money, and it's reputation, and it's your own beliefs, and it completely conflicts with my beliefs. I wouldn't buy one myself, so therefore I could never bring one to the market to offer to our investors. I don't believe in them. I think they're a poor investment. I think there are much, much better options, including options that you can pretty much make hands off if you hack it correctly. That will give you a far better return and far better capital growth prospects. I was quite restrained there, Rob.
Yeah, well, now you've told me that you can get 20% for selling them. I feel like I should have made a better case for them in the first place, and then I made a little pitch at the end.
Yeah,
wow.
Next week on Ask Rob and Rob, student pods.
Exactly.
Why you should buy one now.
Yeah, but for me, it is... it's the exit that's the biggie for me, because you see changes and trends in markets all the time. The student sector in many cities has changed dramatically over the last 5 years or so. And so what if there is, what if worst case, something happens at the university and their admissions drop radically and there's accommodation to spare? What can you do? There's absolutely nothing you can do to make it appeal to a different market. Whereas if you had a student HMO, for example, you could change to a different tenant type, or you could convert it back into a single let, and you'd have lots of different things that you could do as the owner, but you've also got lots of potential markets to sell it onto. And that, for me, even if none of the other concerns were there, even if the promises about the levels of return and everything else were exactly as stated for forever, that would be the factor that means that I wouldn't go near it. So, Sam, you came to us with a question. We gave you an answer which might not be the world's most balanced answer, but it's coming from the right place. It's what we genuinely believe about it. If anyone's got different views about it, we're very happy to hear them. There's no personal motivation to it other than we consider them to be a poor investment. But we're always up for hearing other opinions, and the place that you can share your opinions and hear what other investors have to say about all the things that we talk about on the podcast and everything else to do with property investment as well is on the Property Hub forum. It's completely free. There's over 10,000 members in there now, and there's loads and loads of really great discussion going on every day. So if you've got a question and you don't want to wait for us to answer it on this podcast, or if you want to see what other investors are talking about or get involved in a discussion about any of the main topics of the day, then just go to thepropertyhub.net/forum.
Okay, so that's us for another week. We're back next Tuesday for another Ask Rob and Rob, of course we are. And we'll be back for the main event, the Property Podcast, on Thursday. Until then, keep well, have fun. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.